In this series, I'm going to show you how to develop Shopify themes using Cursor. For context, I've been working as a professional Shopify developer for the past 5+ years, building professional storefronts for various clients, freelancers, and agencies. In this YouTube series, I want to show you how I develop Shopify themes using Cursor. Over the past few years, the way I approach themes has drastically changed. So in this series, I'm going to show you how to develop Shopify themes in the most professional way possible. And at the end of the series, whether you are a beginner or total pro, you're going to have a solid understanding of how to use Cursor and other AI tools in your workflow. But before diving into more serious topics with AI, we're going to start right from the beginning. In this video, we're going to cover the Cursor installation and setup, the GitHub setup for professional workflow, and how to create your first section using Cursor. In future videos, I'm going to cover topics like Tailwind, which is a really awesome CSS framework that you can use within your sections, how to write JavaScript inside of Shopify themes, and some of the mistakes that AI gets wrong and how to catch them. And we're going to cover an overall structure of the best way to build sections that you can reuse as a really solid pattern in your future projects to come. Anyways, let's hop into the monitor. Alrighty, so the first thing that you want to do is download Cursor and open it up on your computer. And then what you want to do is go over to the Shopify skeleton theme, which will be a very bare bones theme that we'll use to build on for this series. You can download this theme through the link in my description, or my apologies, actually find the link for this and other things you need to download in my YouTube video description. But just go over to code, click download zip, and then once that is downloaded, you'll want to unzip that and put that in some sort of folder within your documents. Then to open up the project, you can hit open project here, go over into documents. I always keep my documents within, or my themes within a folder called themes in my documents. And then I'm going to open up this one here called YouTube Cursor theme and hit open. Now you'll notice that we have all different theme files added in, and there will be a few different things that we need to do to finish setting up our professional development environment. The first one is we need to make sure that we have this connected to GitHub, and the second one is we need to make sure that this is connected to some sort of store. So I'm going to just open up a new terminal within Cursor. I'm just going to make sure that I have GitHub installed and show you how you can check yourself. So you can go git version, and I have version 2.52.0. So if you don't have Git installed, this will actually bring up prompts that you can follow to install it. Then the next thing you want to install is Node, and you can either just download it directly from this site or follow these prompts within the terminal, whatever you feel comfortable with. Then the last thing you want to install is the Shopify CLI. So you can just copy this and paste it in your terminal and install it. I do already have it installed, so I won't go through this process again. So once that is installed, we will be able to, to reference this theme within a certain store. And for this tutorial, we'll need to create a new development store. So I'm going to hit log in since I already have an account. And then you'll want to go over to store, click add dev store, and then name your store. I'll name it the same as my file. So I'll call this YouTube Cursor theme. We'll do a basic plan and I'll hit create store. The store is populated. We can actually start to already develop, which is pretty fantastic. So if we go over into online store, you'll notice that we just have this out of the box theme called Horizon, and we want to actually add our own theme that we've downloaded into this site. Now, obviously we could have just downloaded the skeleton theme and uploaded it as a zip, but there's a more professional way, and that involves connecting GitHub. So you want to install GitHub Desktop and then open it up. And then we will want to connect our theme to GitHub Desktop. So I'm going to go down to add an existing repository. I'm going to choose a theme. So for us, it'll be YouTube Cursor theme, and this has our skeleton theme files, and I'm going to hit open and then add in the repository. My apologies, create the repository. Awesome. So what we need to do is now publish this repository to our GitHub. And now if you have an organization, you can publish it to your organization, or you can just publish it to your personal name. I recommend creating an organization just to keep everything clean. Also, I want to quickly note that you don't necessarily need to use the skeleton theme that we are using. You can use any theme. The skeleton theme will just act as a really good base for this YouTube series, so I recommend you do use the skeleton theme. Awesome. So what I'm going to do is select the Flexi Studio theme. I'm going to hit Publish Repository here, and awesome. So now we have our new repository created. And so now what we can do is go inside of our development store, connect a theme from GitHub, select an account, and I will select the organization that I added my repository to, and it is called YouTube Cursor. And I'm going to hit connect to connect this theme, and voila, just like that, we have our theme set up within Cursor. We have it connected through GitHub. And now what we can do is start to use the Shopify CLI to develop and make tweaks to this theme. So what we need to grab actually is our URL in the admin here. And what you'll want to type into the terminal is Shopify theme dev store and paste in the handle. So you can always find that up inside the URL and then hit enter. In order to start developing with this theme, we'll need to see the password. So I'll click see password and we'll grab this password here and paste that into our terminal. And now we can actually click into this theme editor view. As you can see here, it is a pretty bare bones theme. We can add in a few different sections, but we really don't have much here. So what we're going to do now is actually create our first section, and then we're going to push that section over to GitHub, and we'll add that section into our actual development store. So under sections, I'm going to create a new file, and I'm going to call this hero section.liquid. And in the description of this video, you'll also see a paste bin for the code for this section. And also, if you want to see a breakdown of how this section is built, I got a really good video on that. Great, so I just dropped in the code into the section. I'm going to hit save. And now if I refresh our development theme here, you'll notice if I go to add section here called hero section, which is awesome. Now, if we go over to our development store, we can go into online store and we can click on edit theme for our YouTube course theme. And if we go to add section, you'll notice that the section doesn't exist here. And that's because we haven't pushed anything over from GitHub. So what I'm going to do is open up GitHub. And so we can write a little note and say created new section, and we could commit this. Then what we'll want to do is push this to our main branch. So right now we're just using one branch. Later in this tutorial, we might explore branches a little bit more, but for now we just have this one branch that we're trying to sync. So we're going to push this to origin. Then what we're going to do is go back inside of our development store, and we're going to just refresh this, and we should see our section populated over here. Awesome. So if we hit add section here, we now see hero section. And what we can do is just drop in an image, hit done, and it doesn't look great, but it is definitely a start. We have our first section added in, and now what we'll want to do is style this with AI. So I'm going to hit save over here. Now, if we go back into our theme that we're serving with the Shopify CLI, which is this one here, and you'll always know because it says development up top, you'll notice that if we refresh this, we don't have that styled section that we just added within our development store. Now, so if we go back over into GitHub, we can now fetch for the change that we made on our Shopify site, and we can press pull. And now this will pull that section over to our theme that we're developing on our local computer. So now when I refresh this, we should see that section that we created. Awesome. So now we have the image added in. So the moral of the story is that we can edit this theme that we're serving with the Shopify CLI any way we want, and any of the changes that we make in this Shopify theme customizer won't affect our actual site until we push over the changes with GitHub. And this is really helpful because on client side, if your client is working on the theme within inside of Shopify, they can make an edit and you can pull over those changes to your local code. And then within Cursor, you can make your changes and then you can push your changes over to the actual site, so you can both work in tandem. And that, quite honestly, is GitHub in a nutshell. Obviously, there's a little bit more. You can create feature branches and all that fun stuff. But if you just did this method of pushing and pulling and that'll automatically merge the code, you are 10 steps ahead of most people. So that is a pretty solid workflow. Now, with that out of the way, let's actually get to coding with Cursor. Obviously, we'll code more with Cursor in tutorials to come, but let's say we wanted, a bit of a background overlay within the section. Right now, I'll just change the text color to white and hit save. And then within Cursor here, let's ask Cursor to change, or we'll say add a image overlay that's black with a little bit of opacity. And now, since we have this current file open, we can hit enter and we will always be able to review our changes. And so if we click in this file, it shows us what's been added in. If we like these changes, we can keep them. And then now when we go back over to the theme, we see that we have the image overlay, which is awesome. Now, in order to add this code over to our development site, and we'll say added image overlay to the hero section, and we'll commit this file and we'll push it over to our actual site. Awesome. That concludes our video for our professional workflow setup using Cursor and Shopify. In future videos, we're going to create some pretty awesome sections. So subscribe if you are interested in learning more about Cursor and Shopify. Also, let me know in the comments if there's any types of videos you want to see. I'm always open to, pivoting if there is a direction that you prefer. Anyways, cheers.